All right, good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. All right. Well, so we're going to go through the live order flow here. We just had non-farm, so a lot to look at here. We had a huge week in terms of data, and we're looking for market direction. But we're going to be looking at the details in the order flow to give us insights to that direction, and this works for any trading strategy. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Before we go into the live order flow, just a shout out to everybody here in Discord, or if you guys are interested in coming over to our Discord channel, we were looking to get you to pair your email, especially your login email from bookmap.com with your Discord username. Here's why. We can really hone the experience for you. We can have a much better community. You'll get access and unlock exclusive content, webinars, services, beta programs, freebies, etc. So a lot of benefits here, and we want to support our community at a higher level. That is the goal. So we're looking for your email. You can just take a screenshot of this using the QR code here, and you can and pair it right now. Now, just make sure it's your bookmap.com login email. If you don't have an account and you want to give Bookmap a try and you still want to unlock some of this exclusive content, you can do so. You can just sign up at bookmap.com and get the free version. Same thing. We just want to support our users at a much higher level. Okay, so let me show you the form that it opens up and go through that. So it's very simple. You open up the form here. Number one, add your email. Number two, add your Discord username. As Dan had pointed out here, it's not the one above, it's the one below in the smaller text. That's the answer to put in here. And then add your user key. So just open up bookmap.com, go to About, from the Help section to About, and you can copy your license key. You'll see it here. It's blanked out in green. Just copy it here, paste it right here, submit it. You're good to go. All right. So please do so. It will help us tailor better services for you. And we want to do that. We really want to support our community. All right, so let's take a look here at the ES and what's happening in the order flow here. All right, well, we're seeing kind of an order flow shift, potential order flow shift and change right now. It's not actually so clear, to be honest, but we're looking for the potential shift here, and it's happening right here. Okay, so and here's why. If we can even kind of zoom in a little bit more, and I'll use the pen tool here. Hold on. Look at the amount of volume up to here. A lot of selling. Makes sense. Here's our non-farm. Here's the move to the downside. There's more selling than buying. Look where the shift happens here. Look where we broke the structure, this smaller structure here, and then we broke this a little bit bigger structure here, and we broke it on volume. Okay, so we're looking at a shift. Look at the volume shift here, right? And then we can really dig into the details. We can use the same ideas in here. Now, we haven't come up to this swing yet up here, right? Nor have we come up to where the market broke down from non-farm. But look at the shift in here. Guys, this is how a potential reversal pattern starts to unfold and develop. Okay, by understanding these details in here, there's a lot more actually to understand. We're just looking at volume, and we haven't really covered the heat map yet. And the other side of the trade in the auction, two-way auction process. But there's high liquidity here, it's filled. High liquidity here, it's not even touched. High liquidity up in here is filled, but look at that buying pressure. Okay, this is the battle between supply and demand. We get a pullback, and we're starting to see more buy volume come back in here. All right, so now it hasn't reached up here again, but we're looking for that. Right, so that's the kind of a little bit higher time frame analysis after this news event here. Now we just had some news here at 10 o'clock as well. You can see the drying up of liquidity. Not too much a reaction out of that, but now we're going to start to look at market structure, and we're going to look at the volume within that market structure, what's making up that market structure, and then we're also going to look at the auction process, the order flow. Where is the bid? Where is the offer? Look at them starting to come in now on the bid here. Okay, they're just starting to. What's the reaction? This is what we want to understand between supply and demand and our context here. It's not really giving us too much. It kind of bounced a little bit. It's kind of now come back down and tested here a little bit. So it's really, we're not getting too much out of it. What about the offer? Okay, well, they're up here at 43. Now these guys just pulled. Okay, so does that entice sellers to sell at this level? Yeah, actually it did. It did. We see the selling coming in. All right, so we're getting more and more, a little bit more context here. All right, so it looks like sellers want to test the low here. There they go. All right, now, very, very good question here. Do we see, let's take a look at a smaller structure here. And we're breaking it, okay? Or just testing it. We broke it, and it failed breakout there. We're back in the range in here. Okay. Now, we're coming back up, and now we see more buyers. Okay, so looking better. And now we're going to watch this really closely here. Okay, it's back and forth in here. Oh, this is going to help us, that high liquidity there on the bid. Okay, still finding sellers. Interesting. Okay, so sellers take it down a bit. All right, so let's see if buyers come right back in here. Okay, now on smaller trades like this, you can actually, since we got the move down here and you see the buyers come back in, you can scalp this back up to the top of the range here, right? Because we know there's some buying interest in here, and we're just looking for it to come back up into that area in here. Because we know that we see the sellers, we see buyers on the other side, and we're looking for a little bit of a squeeze in here. We know it's also a stop run here, and maybe we're just getting some gaming along this level here, and maybe we'll find buyers come back in to align with our kind of bigger picture here. Just looking for, a false breakdown of this trend line, and then maybe a back up to the top of the range, and then maybe our bigger picture for since 9:30 cash open, are we going to come back up into here, and then maybe even break out and come back up to where non-farm came in and dropped. All right, so here we go. All right, so we got more buyers in here, come back up to the top of that little range, looking now for buyers to take it higher. Okay, the relative volume, we see the buying starting to come in. Okay, so now let's see if we can, we got a retest already. This is where reversals get tricky. There's really all this back and forth, but we're bouncing off where those buyers came in. Yep, I'm looking for it to come up to the top of the range here. It's not a trade recommendation, but this is what we're seeing and reading in the order flow. Okay, and we know we're starting to find some buyers. Okay, now what do we have in the order flow in here? Well, starting to see a little interest right now, actually, on the bid at a higher level. But you can see that the buyers are down here on the bid. Okay, so we're reliant here on what? On the aggressors. Okay? And if they don't come in, it's easy for sellers to whip it right back down here. So we have to be careful about that. Now, so therefore, we didn't have all the pieces in here in the order flow. Hey guys, we went over a lot of examples of this in the Bookmap Academy meetings in general. We go through it all the time. Okay, we want to see the bid up higher here, and we want to see the reaction to that bid be buyers for this trade idea to be more likely to unfold. Okay, else we get this back and forth in here. Now, we're still finding buyers here, still fighting it here. Okay, we're still watching and waiting in here. Okay, we got to move up to here, and that was it. I was looking for it at this point here, since they broke it, retested, looking for it to come back up into 42, 43. It didn't. High liquidity was tested here, and that was it. See sellers come in, right? So we're still kind of in the back and forth here. Okay, one more retest of the bottom of the range in here. Okay, this is becoming a really critical area right here at 36. Okay, a bit more buying now. Okay, buyers, let's see them take it right back up to maybe this 40 liquidity here, maybe 41. Another thing to take a look at in here, look at the relative volume in here. Okay, here's our buying that was pretty strong. That's why we're looking for the move higher. Okay, well, all of the selling that brought it down in here is basically low volume on the sell side. See it in here in the volume dots, and then we see the buyers come back in again. This is why we're still hanging on in there with these buyers. This is basically like a low volume pullback. We're watching it really carefully in here. Maybe the sellers will come in over on the other side here with large selling and move the market. Okay, that would be one of the scenarios in here, even though this is a low volume pullback in here, low volume move to the bottom of the range. And one of the scenarios is to look for that selling in here, big selling, right? And then drive the market away from that area. This, even though we had low volume on the sell side here, if the sellers pick it up here, they can move it. Right? We've seen that a million times on both sides, buying side as well. But basically what we have here is the opposite. We have a low volume, and then we see the buying come back in, and we're looking for the move back up into the top of these ranges here, 40, 41 liquidity, and look at it pick up again. Okay, so now we're back up to this move that we were looking for earlier. It just had to do another rotation here. It did it on low volume on the sell side here, into high liquidity, and then we found our buyers in here. This is the drive we're looking for. And it's good momentum, so we're still looking for it to drive. All right, now let's cover this right in here, this area right now. Here's a pullback to this little jag right here where it kind of took a pause. We would anticipate buyers to come in here again right here. Okay, and then retest back up to the top of the range here. Okay, now we also see they're starting to pull here on the offer. They're adding a little bit more on the bid, so we're still looking for buyers now to try to reach back to 45. Does this make sense for you guys? You understand what we're looking at in here and putting these pieces together. We were looking for this pullback into this little area here. You'll see it again and again and again. Okay, and then start to read the order flow in here. The bid, there was a bit of a bid here, pulling on the offer a bit up in here too, but we're still finding buyers. So we're still looking for them to take it higher here. Now we're getting back up into the top of the ranges up in here, but we still have a lot of buying pressure in here. So we're still long side, buy side here. Okay, and then looking for 45 up in here, and then we'll see what it looks like. I would consider taking some off up in here around 45. Thanks, Doug. You know, I haven't really integrated your longer term option stuff into some of the order flow here, but uh, it's really great stuff. So you're looking at your 3650 as resistance, now support, because it traded through it, in your SPY 490, or your large gamma level, at on the ES at 3650. Okay, well, it just bounced right off of it. And beautiful stuff. And look at, and now here Doug he's and if you guys aren't familiar with Doug, he'll be on later. Let me show you where you can find that information. It's on the Learning Center. Go to bookmap.com, go to education, and then just scroll down here, okay, or join live events here. It'll scroll you down the page. You see all our streamers in here, and then we have Doug, who's daily, right here at options, at 1:30 p.m. East Coast time. Okay, so you might want to come. You enjoy it. Yeah, I really like Doug's streams and Doug's strategy. I'm surprised Doug even offers it out to people, but because it's really that good. So anyway, guys, now we're up here at our 45. I would consider taking some off, but it's still strong buying. This is the reversal now we're looking for, kind of unfolding now. Okay, there's enough buying in here to break this on the higher time frame. The next kind of swing is up here around 49.50 to take a look at, right up in here. It's a little bit lower. 48 is the swing, and there's liquidity there as well. But that's the next area or zone to kind of test that we're looking for. Right. All right, so what happened in here with our analysis? So we had the right idea, and we were looking for it to unfold maybe a little early. And then instead, I think in this area in here, yeah, we were looking for it to unfold in here. We had some buying coming in, looked pretty good. We got one more rotation down to 36, and we found buyers, right? So now it has convinced us that the buyers are starting to move it. That's why we're looking for now meshing this with the bigger picture, okay, which is a bigger higher time frame move in here, right? Look at the volume here. I mean, it's telling us something, right? Look at the order flow. We traded into and through, like Doug was looking at the options. Now we never know, and you've got to manage your risk, okay? But it looks pretty good. In fact, let's take a look at what might unfold here. Okay? We're going to look at kind of the pressures in the market in some of these moves. Now, this is a bigger move here. Here's a move here as well. All right. So let's take a look at these previous moves here and extrapolate that to our current move up here. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. It's that's why 45 was looking pretty good to take some off up in here. Maybe we'll just make it up here to about 48. Maybe there's enough buying pressure to make it up to 50, and this move will be extended. So anyway, understanding some of these moves in here, you can start to. This is extremely easy to back test for the day, and then start to understand where price might go and how you can start to manage your risk. Okay, does this make sense? Okay, so you can go through these live order flow events. And for Bookmap Academy, guys, I know you guys are doing this and marking your charts up, okay, which is great. But you're starting to put these pieces together and starting to identify through journaling why it might come up in here, and then how you might potentially manage your trade or look for setups and entries and exits. Right now, yeah, and also your time frame. What time frame are you trading? Okay, because if this is more of kind of a day trade in here, well, you know, look at the buying pressure in here. Your day trading example in here, well, this is what you could do, is you could take a measured move of this whole range here. That's kind of imprecise. Maybe it's up to here, maybe it's up to here. I'll take the smaller one just to be a little bit more sure. And let's look at a breakout. Well, end of the day, and maybe if this is a day trade and you guys are in for the day and holding for the rest of the day, maybe you're looking at taking some off at like 65 up here. Okay, so that would be from 40, or where were we looking to get in here? Somewhere around this 38 level on up to 65. Right, so that's like 27-point move. Okay, and you're just holding. All right, and that's your trade. Now there's not much for us to cover. And that's why we don't go through these longer time frame trades. But guys, if you are, and this is what you want to do, then you know these are some of the considerations. Let me get back to questions in here. I've kind of been rambling in here. We're not rambling necessarily, but I've definitely been haven't looked at the questions, covering a lot. Yeah, Noah, if you trade options, Doug's webinar is a must. You guys are going to learn so much about options and correlated markets as well. Does a strong retest volume indicate another push higher? I think I answered that, Damien. So we were really watching it closely in here. We thought we'd get a bounce off of the a little bit earlier. We just had another rotation, and then they really started to come in, and it told us something though, right? And it's still playing out. Okay, now one thing also, this, Damien, I want to mention in here that's I think so important to understand is we were looking at this, and we're really zoomed in here and looking at this very myopic little view, what's happening in the order flow, and we're looking for it to unfold a little earlier, right around in here. Okay, well, we have one more rotation, and it makes you nervous. It's like, well, you know, there could have been tons of selling down here, and then those sellers are going to move it, and all of these guys up here are going to be trapped, and we'll see a huge stop run to the downside. Okay, well, and that could have happened. However, this is, let's just go through this here. Which one is more likely? And I guess I had a bit of a bias, which I didn't quite explain. I hate to even kind of use that word, but because you got to be flexible in your thinking. If this does happen, it is more out of the normal, more out of the ordinary that we get these sellers down here, because this is what I'm leaning on and relying on in here, is this move here and this strong buy volume, also this one down here. Okay, therefore, if you know, and we have another strong one right in here coming right back, right, and this was just back and forth in here, and they gamed this as you can see. Well, this level is still in play, but this trend line had broken, and it was kind of some bashing around in here, right? So anyway, this scenario could have happened, but what I want to reiterate again and again and again. Yeah, we're watching all this stuff in here, and it's like, oh yeah, this should, you know, come back up top of the range, whatever. But when we look at the bigger picture, it's not so much about the setup in the here and now. It's about all of this over here that we add on our side. This is the wind at our back. This is the support here, and quite literally support in essence. Okay, and also Doug had an option level here at 36.50. All right, so now we've come up to what we thought was the next level would be this 48 or this 50 level. Okay, and so it just touched or tagged 50 here. All right, and we're seeing a reaction, which we would anticipate a reaction up here. Okay, we're still in an uptrend though. All right, and we can look. We know we're going to get these moves back and forth, let's take a look at where this move might go. And I want to cover something, and I don't want to lose my focus in here as we cover this. So where might this go? Well, we have measured moves also on the sell side. Okay, this is a bigger one in here. Let's take that, and it might go down to here, this swing at 42. Okay, there's also one here, and it might go to that. Okay, so we're kind of in a zone in here. We're looking at this zone in here from about 43 to 41, like a 2-point zone in here. And we want to understand the order flow in that area. Now, what I wanted to cover and not lose focus on in here is something we've been covering for a while now, for at least a few sessions, I know in more detail, is the back and forth in here. Okay, we're still bullish. We're still finding buyers. And we know this, all of this in here we're leaning on and still looking for the move higher. Okay. However, we're getting this back and forth in here now. Okay. And how far might it go? Now, what we want to do is we want to read the volume within that move too. And now the volume on the sell side has picked up. So we might get a bigger move out of it. We might, let's just read it here. In fact, it's actually looking pretty likely. A lot of selling in here, higher liquidity on the offer down here. Now I'm looking for sellers here and looking for the move back down into like this 40 level here. We'll see. Okay. But we know that there's some pretty strong selling coming in here. Okay. So this is not out of the norm here. Therefore, don't put your stop here. Don't get involved in the market here unless you want to put a stop down much lower and take more risk. Okay, is this clear, guys? I mean, do you understand the concepts in here? All right, because in a range in this back and forth in here, we want to understand. Okay, Vinny, thank you. Appreciate that. This will keep you out of a lot of trades, or it will keep you. It'll make you take range-bound trades. Okay, because it is a lot of times like Rob. I'm great to hear it from you. You got it because this chop and this back and forth in here, your expectations for this is not as high now. Okay, now for the day trade, yeah, we don't know. All of a sudden something might come in and, there might be huge selling in here and we come all the way back down to lows of the day here. We don't know that. Okay? But everything we know now is we're still looking for buyers here. And we're still looking for moves higher in here. All right, and this may turn into a bigger head and shoulders or, kind of a double bottom and, shoulders here. You can see that's why we have the measured move way up here in the higher time frame. You can look at another measured move in here as well, and then I want to come back. I don't want to lose focus on this. So we can look at another measured move in here of that range down here in the breakout. Now it's already unfolded, okay? and it worked. It did it. It's done its job. It went up even higher because there's even more volume. Right. So understanding this back and forth in here and the volume and the order flow within it will really, really help. Now I want to go through. I did take a trade. I really wanted to trade non-farm this morning, guys. I really, really wanted to. I was in a meeting the entire time and missed everything. But I don't have much to go over. But I want to go over it and cover this same concept here that we were just talking about. and understand what's going on in here. All right, so this is the same thing. I saw this a little late, clearly a little late. I put a buy order in here, and I saw this little move here, and then I saw more buying in here, but it's like, I'm not, we're up too high, and it's likely I'm looking for it to go higher here, but I'm just looking for a bit of a pullback in here. And because this is a really strong trend, really strong move in here. And I am not willing to buy back up in here. So I'm looking for a pullback and then back up into it. Now, I totally missed it. Okay, this was my limit buy, and then I just canceled. Once it came up to here, I'm done with it. I'm not going to wait. Okay, it did the move I was kind of looking for. I didn't get filled. The market left, the train left the station. Okay, and that's fine. One of the things to comprehend in here on these kinds of strong moves is something from Linda Raschke. I remember it just always resonated with me and stayed with me, is on these kinds of strong moves, grinding moves, a lot of times you can't get the pullback, and you have to be okay with that, or you just get in and just ride it, because you're not going to get a pullback. No one's willing to sell. No one's taking profit. It just keeps on grinding higher. Hits high liquidity, kind of pulls back. I mean, not pulls back, but it just kind of pauses, and maybe very minor pullback, like here, just a couple ticks, and then it just continues on, right? And you'll miss it, and it's not FOMO or fear of missing out here. It's just that's the condition in here. So then your trade management has to match the market price action, right? So, and now I wanted to cover this one too. Now I know it's not much of a move, but I was still kind of watching the market at this point. This gets back to what I didn't want to lose focus on. Okay, so our strong move here, okay, this is dominating the price action at that time. We get a pullback to this little area in here, this little move down, and then continuation. Okay, so we would anticipate a pullback to this area here. Now, this is very similar to slowdowns, Wyckoff Spring setup. It's basically the same thing. Let me cover it though, and why I took profit here as well. Okay, so it's only like, I don't know, 1.5 or so, but and it's just a small range bound trade. It's the concepts I want to go over in, so that you guys can use this on much bigger, higher time frame trades. Okay, or if you want to scalp, great. Build confidence in the small trades. Take many trades. I would recommend doing that, and do it in sim first. Really understand what you're looking for. Mark them up. Join the Bookmap Academy. Mark them up. Get some feedback on them, and become much better. Then you can understand. You'll understand this concept by taking it so many times. You understand exactly what you're looking for, and then you can extrapolate it to the higher time frames. Okay? A lot of you guys in the academy had talked about holding times, or I'm sorry, it was just with Caesar talking about holding time and stocks. He's trading stocks, but it was kind of hard on himself not holding for his profit. Well, the order flow was telling him something different at that time. I think it was the right move that he took. Anyway, yeah, I would recommend like the more trading activity that you do, and do it here in Bookmap, because it's so much easier. It's right in front of you. You see the order flow, you can react right away to it. It'll place your stop loss, it'll place your take profit if you use bracketed orders, and then you can move them around. You can see I moved my take profit from way up here. I just have kind of extended brackets, and then I refine them, and I'm just looking for that move up into here. Okay, and then and that's it. Now, what I continue to say I don't want to lose focus on, but I am. This was the strong move. Here's our pullback. Read the volume in here. Read the dots in here in this move. It's low volume on the sell side. Okay, there's still more buyers coming in. Okay, on this move in here, from here to here, and from here to here. Look at the selling in here as well. Okay, more buyers. Pretty good selling here, not bad. It's just one big volume dot. So you have to understand that. Okay, it's just this little area here. But in this move in here, yeah, okay, kind of aggregates it within the move. But there's some selling, but there's more buying that comes right back in. Okay, back up here, right? So and then here we see a little bit of selling, a little bit of kind of back and forth in here. But let's just say from here to here. Let's look at that volume, look at volume dots, read the delta. Okay, there's not a whole lot in here, but it's kind of equal. All right, so I am then leaning on this as my trade setup. Okay, it's not this little break here. It is all of this within the range in here that allows me something that is higher, more likely to unfold. This is a mispricing here. It broke below the range. I'm starting to find buyers in on the other side of this range in here. And I would be looking for them to trade it back up to the other side of the range and potentially break out from that range as well. Okay, by understanding all of this behavior in here. Okay, now we don't have a lot in the order book. Here we have high liquidity up at 64, 63 and 3/4, and then down here around 59.5 or so, and maybe 60. But I'm not looking for much, and starting to understand that if this is the case in here, and I find buyers come back in, I'm going to be a responsive buyer, just like some of these volume profile guys or other traders, range bound traders, market maker type of strategies, trade it back in, okay, into the other side of the range. Now, I know there's a bit of selling in here too. What I had done at that point, I think was I had made a, hold on, a trend line. I didn't have a lot of time here, or maybe I think it was this very small trend in here. Yeah, it was this one, and I just took my profit up here at this swing. I was in here for very little time, and just looking for taking it back up to here, and that's it. Okay. Now, ultimately, I'd be looking for this to break to the upside, but due to this, what we just covered, all of this within these moves, understanding the volume. Okay, now we're starting to get a bit bigger picture as we zoom out a little bit more. We have liquidity on our side now too. Okay, stair stepping up, higher liquidity at higher levels in here. And what's the reaction? Okay, well, some selling here again, potential mispricing, buying coming in here, right? Looking for the top of the range in here, or this liquidity up here. Okay, now we know that unfolded, and then we sold off. Okay, but now this was a little bit. There's more complications going in here. On this time frame, this is what we were looking for. Okay, a little bit later, we've got non-farm, one of the most important events in the market, right? So this is now this was a lower time frame kind of scalp in here, looking at it, understanding it, and covering this concept of understanding what's behind it here. Where did we come from? What can we lean on? Then you look for your setup. Okay, that's the point I want to make. And it will keep you out of trades. Not Doug, Rob. It'll keep you out of a lot of trades. It'll also make things a lot simpler for you and a lot less frustrating. The markets, it might not have direction. Okay, great. All right. So do nothing. You know, it's not like you have to figure out every single little wiggle or move in the market. We don't know. Other traders don't know either. They will test it with liquidity and with volume, and see it what it's like, and what the pressures are like. All right. So anyway, yeah, I really wanted to cover that in more detail so we understand that, and there was a couple of trade examples to cover it as well. Right now, I know it's not much, but again, like, the concepts are the same. And then now we can look at a higher time frame example in here. Okay, so that was very small time frame, a scalp. Well, here's our higher time frame, guys. How's that working out? It's working out pretty well. Okay, so now is it clear? Can you see it? Look at the what we had talked about and this potential reversal unfolding. I mean, now in hindsight, it looks even more obvious, of course. But this volume was telling us something. Okay, and then we had this back and forth in here, and again, the volume was telling us something. So we're looking for the top of the range here. We said 45, and then also next level here, 48 to 50. And then the bigger picture was, and I was looking for a grinding move for maybe the afternoon to come back up to 65 up here. Or maybe it's here, 58.60. That's where the non-farm came in. But once we get up here, we can see a nice big stop run, probably up to 65 or so. All right, hope this makes sense for you guys. Academy #1. Thanks, Caesar. Really appreciate it. Let me show you guys, if those of you who don't know what's going on with the Bookmap Academy and what is this. I keep mentioning the Academy. It's really really great. I really like it, and I'm really happy we can offer this. So go to bookmap.com, click on the More button, and go to Academy here under Community. Okay, so here it is here. You'll apply. This will scroll you down the page. This is free. There's FAQs underneath if you have questions. Maybe it can be answered. And you just need your name, email, Discord name, and apply. Okay, you will need to have Bookmap in order to partake in the Academy. Now you can even do it though with the free version. Most of you guys are looking at futures and stocks, and you will need to have a paid version of Bookmap or subscription. And what we're willing to do in here is offer a coaching mentoring program. Okay? It's free. I don't know anyone else is really doing this. We have these daily webinars, etc. And on top of that, we have this Academy. Okay, so what you do when you first apply is you're gonna be an applicant for the Junior Academy here, and you'll start documenting your content, and you'll need to come over to Discord, our Discord channel here, and this is where you'll first come into under Bookmap Academy here. You'll come into the Academy applicants here, click on that, and you're going to request, as you can see some of these guys in here, I'd like to request a spreadsheet. And then Dan got right back to him and says, please check your DM. He direct messaged them with the spreadsheet. Okay, so that's what the next step is, and you'll get an email that'll request you to reach out in here and ask for your spreadsheet. And then once you have your spreadsheet, then the fun begins. Start journaling in the Bookmap Academy channel or wherever, in any of our Discord channels or on social media, on Twitter, on YouTube, whatever it might be. Just get the documentation down, copy the link, and put it into your spreadsheet. That's it. One a day is what we're looking for. That's it. And you can see some beautiful stuff in here, guys. Really great work. And then we had the coaching session last night, or at market close. Let me show you if you want to, if you're interested in it. Here it is here. Okay, under on our YouTube page, you can see the recording here, and click on the recording, and yeah, go through it in here, and you can watch what we do. So here's someone's. This was Alan, and we were covering his material in here. We have different coaches going through the different materials in here, right? Give you feedback. All right, so that's the Academy, and there's something a lot more actually to the Academy. You can get Bookmap for free, and the market by order bundle in here for futures for free. They read through it in here. You know, we're willing to like subsidize your trading costs if you're willing to put in the work, and we're willing to help you as you're putting in the work. Right. So the steps here are you first apply, then you're invited to the Bookmap Academy, Junior Academy. Then that's the proving ground. You need to make a threshold of 1 per day, and it has to be good quality. If so, we will invite you to the Bookmap Academy. You will continue to do the same thing and earn your keep for Bookmap for free, and meet your quota. If you double the quota, you can get the MBO bundle for free as well. Right, and if you want to continue on, we've got step 3 and 4. Step 3 is the coaching. Now you're a coach, and you can get data for as well. And your job here at that point is to give feedback to new applicants and Junior Academy members, help them along. And then the 4th and final step here is become a streamer in the Bookmap Discord and YouTube, and you'll get other incentives as well. Now you've demonstrated your coaching abilities, and you're going to reach a wider audience in here, right? So that's what it's all about, guys. If you're interested, you can just go to the bookmap.com page here, and Bookmap Academy is under community. All right, guys. Well, this has worked out a lot faster than we thought. It's already come back up to here, where that non-farm release came in. I would be taking some profit up here. I know others will be as well. I would not want to give up these gains. All right, we see sellers come in. Let's take a look here. Where do we think they might drive it? Well, right here is a good area, and let's see if we can get a bounce off of that. Actually, we'll look and we'll see. But now this is a higher time frame level. We might come back down to this area in here, where the sellers came in. Okay, so we're going to watch order flow in here. Okay, this is rather equal move up to down. So I would anticipate buyers to a bounce here. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, maybe a smaller move like this, up to here, which makes good sense to me. Okay, bottom of this range. Okay, still looking for it though. Okay, sellers take it down a little bit further, looking for buyers, just looking for a pullback here. One of the things also too, so we are looking for this pullback. In fact, let's take this a little bit, be a little more conservative here. Maybe back up to about here. Maybe 58, maybe 57.5. Okay, a lot of times this is something to take a look at in here. When you start to make your measured moves in here and look at your ranges in here, okay, because a lot of times if it's really strong sell volume in here that's dominating, this is the pullback here. It's to the first pullback, basically. Okay, so you know, usually you'll see it start to create a range right in here, for example. If, or typically, it comes from this strong move here. If you get this strong move to the downside, then you just get this kind of shallow pullback. This is our flag pattern, in fact. And then you look for more sellers to come in, and then I'm still looking for a pullback here, but yeah, we might get that inverted flag in here, and if we do, I'm looking for it to come right back down to here. Okay, that would be 52. Now, I don't have too much of a strong opinion on this one. And we don't have all the pieces in an inverted flag pattern in here at the moment. Okay, but it measured up pretty nicely. Okay, so Stephen, what are we missing in here on an inverted flag since we covered this yesterday? I think you're in here, Stephen. No? Yeah. Hold on a minute. Get back into the room. No, we're what we're looking for is so we've got a consolidation in here. Actually, it's not really good inverted flag pattern in here, right? Our consolidation should be this level up here, right? And then we look for that impulse move away from it. And instead, we don't really get an impulse move here. So yeah, it kind of negates the whole thing. But also look at the on these moves back up in here, there's no one on the bid or offer up in here. Now they're starting to show a little bit now, right? So, and the reaction has been sellers. So we are looking for our sellers here. And I would look for a bigger extended move now here by those sellers down to about 52. And we're starting to see a little reaction to that offer, and it being some selling. So the anyway, in the flag pattern, well, I've got a better example from yesterday, but we really want to see here on the offer, pretty high liquidity, and the reaction to that high liquidity being sellers. Okay, so we got a little bit of that in here. All right, so now we can take that same idea in this flag pattern though, and then just apply it to a range. Okay, so we got some pieces of that, and the reaction was some selling. So we would look for a move to the bottom of the range, okay, as a minimal move. Okay, now look at them again. On the offer, sellers. All right, so now on the bid, they're still here. I want to see them pull ultimately. Would be great, or just sellers take on and trade through them. Now I'm starting to find some buyers. Okay, I'm not looking for much though from these buyers. Just back up to here. Okay, nothing decisive here. I mean, like I do see the buying coming in, and I do see a little bit on the bid here. So we had the potential for these buyers to come in like this. I don't think these sellers are done though. In fact, we've gotten a move back up to what we thought it would pull back to here. So maybe we are out of the way, out of the the range here, and maybe we start trending higher. But I would look for again for a rotation, and I would look for sellers to try to trade it back down to about here, okay, where we just broke out from here. Right. So this we're starting to anticipate rotations here, and S&P rotates a lot. So for this market, we would be looking for a rotation. And the sellers may rotate it all the way back down here again. Right. In fact, maybe Slowdown is watching this here and looking for a kind of a break above, and then selling to come in and then take it on down. A mini flag, yeah, kind of, but like right in here. But you do see and it's working out, but I don't like it because like what Slowdown had covered yesterday in the Academy meeting, we have our consolidation range in here. We do have a breakout, but the pullback's pretty strong, and we're it's doing it. But we really want to see where it becomes higher or more likely. Is when we see the impulse move that is strong, and then a low volume pullback. So this is pretty strong volume, and it's a full retracement of the impulse move here. Okay, so that kind of negates it in here. Now it worked, and we see the buyers come back in. Okay, so they're coming in strong. So back up to the top of this range in here, and potentially as well, we'll see. But I think we've just done enough of a move here. We'll probably get a pullback, and we can anticipate the pullback again, probably to about here, where it kind of went sideways, and then maybe we'll see the buyers come back in. All right, sellers, let's see it. Let's see if we can drop it right to about here, 58.5. Okay, now let's see if the buyers come back in. Okay, so what we're covering in here and understanding in here is truly we're talking about market mechanics in here and within the structure. Okay, and we have reasons why we're looking for these areas to be targeted and reactions around these areas in here. And now we're leaning again on all of this buy volume in here that moved this market. Now we're looking for our buyers. We've gotten our pullback, and then what does it look like in here now? So this is the kind of where we came from and what we're leaning on, and now we're watching it in here. Okay, so well, here they come. Okay, so we got a reaction there, and we're back up here where they bought again. I would look for them to break it now, okay, and come back up to about 61. Okay, let's look for the bid to get stronger here. Looking for our buyers to take it back up to 61. Again, more likely, now we never know, right? It would be better if we had a higher bid in here, but more likely to come up here because we're leaning on this momentum in here. Okay, it's previous structure that we're leaning on. That's maybe the wording I'm looking for. Okay, this creates that foundation that we can build upon a trade. How do you handle that from a discretionary part, the fractal? So be careful, like I was saying, Stephen, it's good to zoom in and really understand what's going on at the here and now, but well, you have to have kind of a bigger picture context in here. Just even on a smaller time frame, where did you come from, right? And then leaning on all of this in here, because this has moved the market. Okay, do we see more that supports that move? Yeah, we're getting it. Look at the exhaustion. Look at the buying starting to come back in, or top of the range in here. And now the delta dots they just changed. We found buyers in here, and then sellers did come in. Okay, so another rotation now instead. Okay, that delta dot, we had seen some buyers come in here, and then it was countered here by the sellers. So see how it wiped it out, and then more selling came in. Right, so just understand that, be aware of it. Okay, so now this is something different here. Now this is why we say we never know. Someone came in with a lot of volume and just dumped it here. Okay, most likely at some point maybe someone that was trading non-farm says, this is my opportunity to get in and start selling again. Right now, so that's why we're kind of looking for 65 up here, but then I kind of changed our tune a little bit, looking at this 60 due to the non-farm move up here. Okay, move, yeah, right here. Right, so anyway, now let's cover this now. So we were still biased to the upside, still found buyers, looking for these little pullbacks, little swings, blah blah. And then now something has disrupted all of that. Okay, this was all still looking good, leaning on all of this in here. Okay, well, this is the disruption here. All right, now that everything's changed now. Okay, due to this selling here. Right, and this is where we have to manage the risk. Still more likely to unfold due to what's happening behind us here, to kind of stand on its shoulders in here, looking for the momentum to continue. And then here, it has been disrupted at this point. Okay, it's bouncing off a previous trend line we had in here. I'm going to get rid of that. All right, so let's reevaluate here, see what's going on, and what are we looking for now? Here we've already got our pullback. As you guys can see, the strong selling coming in, move that market, swept the order book here. It's an order book sweep, no question about it. And we've already pulled back to the big volume dot there. And then now we're starting to see the continuation lower. Okay, so that's our pullback. Okay, now we've pulled back here, and interestingly enough, we're starting to find some buyers now. Okay, back at the top of the range. Okay, now we may find more buyers in here. Take this right back up to where we're looking for a breakout up in here. I would not be looking for that, even though it's unfolding. I would look for another rotation still. This is a lot of selling. So I'm looking for that seller to probably reload up here. Okay, now let's take a look at this. As this picture starts to unfold, it's telling us a little bit more. Look at the relative volume in here on the sell side, and then compare it here. It is a low volume pullback here. Right, it's retraced pretty much the whole way, and it's a low volume pullback. Okay, now as we've covered many times, low volume pullback, we look for the sellers to come back in and move it back down. However, it really it is, again, is context, and it depends, because up here where it dropped from, okay, up here, if we get the buyers big buying up in here, it doesn't matter if it's a low volume pullback, okay, because it's moved up here and we can see the buyers take control here. Okay, they're going to give it a shot here. Okay, it's still a low volume pullback. Okay, I'm looking to see these sellers reload again here. We always go with that one first, that scenario first. Okay, they've moved the market. They're in control in this small time frame. Okay, so where are they? Are they showing up? Hard one to judge a lot of times in here because like this one was hard to judge. Just came in and sold right here. He just swept the book, right? And we don't know when that's going to happen. And a huge stop run after. It was a stop run of, see, 1058. I'm sorry, what is this? 1114 down to 1058. Yeah. So, oh, I don't know, like 60, 70, 80, whatever, something, somewhere around in there. Not getting much clarity in here on either direction right now. And that's fine. You know, if the market's not telling us something we don't know, we just let it do its thing. Let someone else kind of figure it out, and then we ride along with it. Yeah, yeah. Buyers starting to exhaust a little bit. Not really. I mean, I do see some buying up in here. Nice exhaustion here. Was, you know, this happened kind of quickly in here. There's an order book sweep to the upside here. All right, we can go through a few scenarios now. It did auction up here, but we're looking for our sellers here on the, I was about to say this, and then really the sellers to come in and try to drive it below this range. Now they have control here if they want to, right? We're looking for that seller to come in and sweep the order book down into surely this liquidity here around 56, but maybe they can even take it a lot further. Okay, this is why we go through those scenarios in here. We saw some exhaustion and some buying in here, but we're not giving up on these. You know, this is where the seller came in and dropped it and kind of look for that behavior again. Okay, so we went through, we had this low volume pullback and it kind of extended up a little further and it was still low volume pullback. But maybe we get the buyers back up above it, maybe not, and we get the sellers come back in and add more supply in here. Okay, so we got our move back down. Didn't quite get into 56. We got to 56 and a half there. All right, let me get back to questions in here. And thanks, Alois, as always, answering lots of questions in here. How about the bid liquidity? I'm sorry, hidden true secrets at 43.35. What about the liquidity there? Down here. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's pretty far away. Let me actually cover this in here. This is a great question. What about this liquidity that came in here? Look at, it's over 3,000 contracts that came in down here. All right, so now I just let's go through a couple scenarios in here. A very, very hypothetical scenario, but um, for us, at least as retail traders, okay, it is not so hypothetical for a larger institutional trader. Let's suppose you have to move or hedge or whatever it is, but you have to get filled with thousands of contracts, right? That's your job. And let's just take a look at this guy down here at 35. So yeah, it's one player holding almost all of that liquidity here. Okay, so one player came in at this 35 level, or I'm sorry, it's 34 and 3/4. And I just this is where he is a willing buyer. Now, what's going on in here? You can consider this in a different manner, like I was saying. Oh, I got to cover something before. So we have a potential nice little flag pattern in here starting to potentially unfold. Just the pattern itself, I don't see the criteria for it, except for the bid is starting to look pretty good in here. This impulse move doesn't look so great either. It's not bad, but we got back and forth in here, and now we have buying back up in here. Higher liquidity on the bid in here, and buyers coming in. So we're looking for a kind of a, in the flag pattern, we're looking for kind of getting in somewhere around in here, but like this is not good. It's actually, they're kind of telling you something in here, and we're looking for the extension of the move. But we're looking for it here, but I would not be looking to buy up here. It's too far up. It's at the top of the range in here, and you'd be left holding the bag. Okay. However, order flow wise, yeah, we'd be looking forward to trade not only 65. I mean, maybe we get to 75. All right, but let's go through the scenario in here now. The maybe a failure of this pattern would be really good for that institutional trader. And if you had all of this, and you can verify this with Scott. Scott Pulcini. He was on yesterday at 10 a.m. He used to do the same thing. You have thousands of contracts that you've got to unload. Okay, so you don't just jump into the market. It's more like you can verify it with Scott. First, you put in your target. Where do you want it to go? Right, and get in line, establish your position, and then you drive the market toward that, or get people help from others to drive the market toward your. Right, so is this player going to get what he wants? Well, we'll see. He might get frustrated and pull and add to a higher level and get a worse fill. He might have to chase. Okay, well, we do know though with our large lot tracker very clearly this is one player who has over 3,000 contracts here, or let's just say 3,000. All right, so now we're up at our kind of up here, this pretty top level. You can start to consider. Okay, I'm gonna delete all these lines in here. It's getting kind of messy. Okay. Kind of interesting idea about our measured move. Of it completing and then dropping back down to 35. Okay. Now, um, exotic birds, like I'm just going through a very hypothetical situation here, scenario. We don't know, but uh, maybe we get our measured move in here. We come back up at the top of these ranges in here, non-farm, uh, stop a lot of people out. As you can see, it's been stopping a lot of people out, tremendous amount, and then for it to just reverse and come right back down to this level here, which is a beautiful level here to get filled. Okay, and also looking for stop runs into this liquidity down here. Right, so that's another thing to kind of add in or just consider. Scott talks about it, and he just talks also about these areas of high liquidity. They get what they want, type of thing. So like these players up here at 75, they've been in here since non-farm. They are willing to sell up here. All right, let's see. See if there's any more questions in here. Carving up those hieroglyphs. Oh, that's a 7.5 thing. Yeah, you're right. Shark Blue, I want to actually, I demoed why you're seeing so many volume dots in here with 7.5 because we're actually able to display more volume vertically. It's still the same time slice horizontally, but we were not able to show it vertically. We are now, so you're getting a lot more volume dots. Okay? And that's a 7.5 new feature. So yeah, that's what's going on there. In fact, I want to reach out to them about something. But yeah, you can see my clustering, volume clustering. Oops, wrong one. My volume clustering has changed in here as well. I keep it now here in the middle. I just use the default really. And the smart clustering here is right in the middle. I used to have it here way over on the left because I wanted to see the volume within some of these momentum moves. I wanted to see that strong, consistent volume. I wasn't so interested in the clustering. Okay, let's see if that seller comes in up here and can move it right back down into, well, and through maybe 56. Okay, so we're looking for kind of an order book sweep into 56 here, saying that we saw over here, this move here. We're looking for it to unfold again. And then 56 maybe on down to 53. And now that's a big speculation in here. But we've seen it many times that these sellers, like the behavior is repeated. Okay, so we can start to anticipate that behavior by the sellers, and they're getting a better price up here, right? We've seen it many times in the past too, where this selling behavior it happens a few times, maybe once, twice, thrice. Then you'll get your move down into your 35 liquidity down here, right? Basically kind of slaps the market around. You see buyers still taking it higher, and then they just have so much leverage and liquidity that they're able to move that market down to these levels in here. It's not as easy and simple as that. I mean, there's all sorts of players to be able to move it. Like, 20 points down here. Right, but we can look at the fundamentals in here as well, thinking, wow, we're all the way back up here, and the initial move was to the downside, a couple of times. So once, twice. And we're all the way back up in here. We're going to find sellers up in here, and we're finding some larger player activity maybe kick that move off as well. All right, well, let's continue on and take a look at well, our higher time frame move is more or less played out during this session. That's kind of rare. Usually, on non-farm or on Fridays, what happens is you'll see the opposite move grind the rest of the day, and you think, oh yeah, it's not that high a volume. I'll short it, and it just doesn't come back. This is where Fridays, it just really grinds people up. End of the week, and can trigger a lot of stops and a lot of liquidations. Okay, bid's pretty strong right now. It's kind of interesting to see. All right, let's see. Yeah, I wanted to cover higher time frames. I also wanted to go over that back and forth and understanding the volume within it. Actually, another one that looks at this is actually Gene from the Algo Boys, their webinar, talking about ABC patterns in here. Is very similar in concept. Here's the idea. Like within this move in here, look at that volume within it, right? And look at the order flow within it as well. Okay, so on some of these moves in here, well, there's actually more selling in some of these moves in here. This is the big selling in here. Okay? And then it's all been low volume basically compared to that selling in here, which was that larger player that swept the book. So again, starting to understand the volume and also the order flow. I mean, look at the reaction to the order flow here. It's an integral part. It's both that matter. They're on the bid here, but no one's tangled with it yet. All right, well, what do we know? Well, I mean, the facts are the facts. Larger player or not, liquidity down here at 35 or even down here at 46 or not, we came from a strong move here. That's been the most volume here so far. Okay, now this here is a disruptor, as we talked about. Okay, this area in here. Okay, but what do we have in here? Well, funnily enough, you can look at it that we're above that area where that seller came in, and there's high liquidity and support kind of near that area as well, just below it, and we're accepting above. Okay, so well, what does that mean? It kind of convolutes the message here from the sell side in here. Okay, this move here. So well, we'll just have to find a lot of buyers up in here that are willing to move that market higher up into 65 and try to even break this little range here around 62 up here. Okay, we come back into here, and the sellers are back in control. So I don't really have a bias in here. I'm still kind of looking for these sellers in here, to be honest. Even though we want to lean on all of this previous information in here, but this was the disruption here, and we're still dealing with it in here. But here comes some selling. As we can look at a measured move in that, and it should be just around down to here, 50 to the bottom of the range, and also maybe this little swing here around 54. Anyway, guys, let's see here. Over in Discord, just a shout out again about the Bookmap Academy. If you're interested in that, you know where to go. Bookmap.com, click on the More button, and go to the Academy. It's free if you want to partake in it and get some mentorship. You will need to also, we're looking for you guys to sign up here and pair your Discord. So and partake in the Bookmap Discord community and the Academy, and trying to kind of weed out some of the people that don't really care about the community so much, as well as unlock enhanced services in here for you. Beta programs, freebies, add-ons, exclusive webinars, etc. And just we want to pair your license key and your Discord name, and then we can offer a lot more to you. Okay, I'm going to put that link in here as well. You can also just click on the or use your phone, take a screenshot of that, and go to the form immediately. Right, and then that'll help us know who you are and offer better services. Okay. All right, guys. Well, after all of this kind of that selling and whatever, look what's happened here. Okay. This was convoluted in here. We had our reasons in here looking for those sellers, and I was too. Now instead, this is what's unfolded. Okay, we see a huge stop run to the upside, and lots of buying in here. Now either way that you look at this in here, you cannot deny the fact that we had this strong move, and then we're starting to look for this selling behavior. But we first had to get back into this range in here. And now they may have taken it, and they had enough selling pressure to do that. Trade into this 56 liquidity and threw it down to the bottom of the range, maybe down to this 46, and then maybe 35. Right? Well, here's what unfolded. This selling in here, we see actually more support just above it, and we have time and acceptance above it in here. And then the buying pressure starts to come back in. Okay? And you can see that buying, well, let's just zoom in here a bit. Okay, so I was looking for the sellers at this point to take it down. Okay, we had some selling down here. We had some not so much buying up in here. And this was really disruptive in here. However, you cannot deny the fact that we see the bid We see the buying up in here, and the timing acceptance up in here. We rotate back up and we find some buyers in these areas in here, and we would be looking for the move back up into here, top of the range, and then we see just beautiful stop run now. Okay, so we went from about 1,300 stops here to 36. So almost triple the amount of stops. It tripled. It's a huge stop run up here, right? So there's our big stop run, and there's our higher time frame pattern is complete. Our measured move in here is complete. All right, so I don't know after this. I'd be looking for maybe we get our sellers come back in after this big huge stop run, and then we can look for a pullback very easily back to this area here at 65. In fact, let's just zoom in here and let's go through our same strategies again. Pullback, maybe, yeah, 65 looks pretty good, but also 65 and a quarter. We see the back and forth in here. This is the first stop we'd look for, or the first area for a pullback. It's already done it. It's gone down a little bit lower. Okay. Yeah, beauty right here, actually. This one is first, this one second, this one is our third, actually. Okay. So let's see if we can get, now we know it's a stop run. Well, actually, let's go through this. This is a stop run here. No question about that. Look at that beautiful stop run, and let's just turn on the stops and icebergs and just verify it. Okay, we know it. We know the numbers here, but we can see how it truly unfolded here. Oh my God, the whole thing's like a stop run, and a couple of different stop runs. Here's one for 96, one for 45. Here's another one for now fully 1600, 14. Okay, all of these are stops. And now, are they to enter and go long? Are they getting stopped out? That we don't know. I would say there's a lot of people though that put their stops above the non-farm event or the swing for the day, and they are out of the market. Okay, so if that is the case, then let's look for new buying coming in or new selling. So this is all new buying here as well as here. Okay, so it's important to understand the distinctions in here. Okay, so our new buying coming in here, right? And we're just kind of waffling around in here, and trading back up to top of this little range in here. Okay, now we got to consider this. This is new buying in here. Okay, we know our stop run here. We have to discount that, and we need to retest back to these areas in here. And if we see this shift in the order flow, which may start unfolding right now, look at the liquidity here on the offer. Look at the sellers. Okay, all right, sellers. Then we're looking for you to trade it back down to here. Try to reach this liquidity at 66, 65. All right, let's zoom in here. Let's look for it. It's a wall of liquidity. Okay, they're still on the bid here, actually, when we zoom in. Okay, so still finding some buyers in here. Yeah, I mean, the bid is still strong. This is good, good liquidity underneath. We traded into the wall of liquidity here, taking some of it. Still finding some buyers. All right, well, anyway, I'm looking for weakness in here. And I'm looking for a lack of buying. We're not getting it. And then some selling and a lack of a bid here, because we know that the offers here is strong. Okay, so we're looking for maybe a shift in here, and we just don't see it yet. We want to see that selling pick up. All right, here they come. Okay, bottom of the range, selling. The offer still strong. Yeah, let's see. Looking maybe for about, bound down to 66 or so. $66 is good. My book. We've got this is where those new buyers came in. This is the new range to take a look at. All right, wall of liquidity, and we're still finding buyers. It's not ready yet. All right, guys. Anyway, we're going to leave it off at that. Here's some selling. All right, let's see it, sellers. Let's see. We need to get a lot more than that. There's the bid is. I mean, they still seem to keep buying here, and we need to get below here really for those sellers to take control. Okay, below 60, 66, 65. Okay, now we can even look for the move to trade back down to it here. Still on the bid here though. Here we go. Let's see the reaction to this lower liquidity here. Sellers, let's see it. The buyers still want it. See how they want that liquidity and they go after it. Okay, now this liquidity has really been damaged up here too. There's a lot less than there was previously. Okay, now this is European close on a Friday as well. So a little volatility in here. Anyway, guys, I don't really have too much of an outlook here. Selling below 65, 66, and we still see buyers kind of attacking this liquidity in here, and we know this is new buying in our rectangle here in our range. But looking at very closely at this wall of liquidity, if they're going to be adding more, if buyers take it on, can they trade through it? If they cannot, looking for those sellers, looking for the move back down to 66, 65, and then the potential break of it. All right, so yeah, thank you everybody. Hit the like button, please. That helps us continue on with this this kind of education. Yeah, just want to show again please get your Discord email, bookmap.com email together, and we can unlock some services or provide a higher level of service for you guys over here in our Discord channel. Thanks for coming, everybody, and we will catch up with you on yeah, we'll catch up with you on Monday. Okay, have a good weekend. Bye bye.